Alright, let's try this one more time. My name is Spider Nigga. I got my powers after fucking a radioactive spider thought in the bathroom. And for the past 15 minutes, I've been the hood's #1 hero. I'm sure y'all know the rest. I can stick to walls, dodge child support, but instead of shooting webs, I just shoot niggas.
Spider-Man, but he's black. Just like the 2018 game, we shall be reviewing this one as well. In today's video, we will cover these topics: the story, music and sound design, visual/graphics, world design, gameplay, replayability, a comparison to the 2018 game, and of course, a rating. Let's get into it, shall we? The story of Miles Morales is quite the interesting one. We learn at the end of Spider-Man 2018 that Miles was bit by the same spider which bit Peter. There's a stagnant period where we don't know what happens until the release of the game. In Spider-Man Miles Morales, you immediately get thrown into a mission with Peter and Miles where they are quote-unquote escorting a cell with Rhino inside. One of the cords holding the cell starts to snap, and Miles, being the dumbass that he currently is, tries to fix it. Peter yells no, but of course, Miles is an idiot. He shoots a web into one of the helicopter blades and it blows up basically. Rhino escapes and Peter quote-unquote follows him. Miles deals with some convicts that escaped, but nobody cares about that, and after a long fighting sequence, you go and help Peter. Rhino crashes through a mall, skipping the whole mall scene. You get to a fight with Rhino. Oh, and Miles gets his Venom powers. And no, not that Venom. Simon Krieger shows up and you think he's the main antagonist. Yes, but not really. The main antagonist is this person called the Tinkerer. We learn later that the Tinkerer is Miles' childhood best friend, Finn. Genki is in the story too, but he's not really that important. At the start, we also learn that Aaron knows we're Spider-Man, because he's just Jesus Harold Christ. Later on, we learn Aaron is the Prowler, and through a bunch of side missions, we learn that him and Jeff, Miles' dad, had some beef. Very unimportant stuff. We can skip a bunch of useless talking missions, because in the middle of the game somewhere, we learn that Finn's brother died by Roxxon. So that's why she's so hell-bent on fucking them over. Basically, somewhere along the lines, Miles joins the Underground, which is basically the Fisk's men of this game. Whatever. Last mission time. Finn and Miles fight. Fight lasts like half an hour. Miles absorbs all the energy of the Large Hadron Collider or whatever the fuck it is and fucking dies. Or so we think. Basically, he exploded Finn into the air and fell down, getting up and putting his mask on to look so cool and rad. Basically, the story was not the best, in my opinion.
The music in this game was great. The music really makes you feel like you're a teenage superhero. All the music sounds like it's straight out of the Spider-Verse, and I love it. The battle music wasn't really great when it was a small fight, but against bosses, it was great. The sound design hasn't changed much from 2018, and that's a great thing in my opinion. It really is nice hearing the web fires and everything. Overall, the sound designs and music was lovely in this game, just like the 2018. The graphics and visuals on PS4 were great. They were of course better than 2018's graphics due to the 2-year difference in development. The graphics are bound to change to something better. All the times in the sun looked amazing, and some of the suits glow in the dark were absolutely great. Though sometimes in the snow, New York doesn't look like New York. It could be due to PS4 sucking ass with graphics recently, or just a graphical error. But who cares. On PS5 though, the graphics were great, and they really put the new in new-gen consoles.
As we know, we're still in New York. Some people hate it, some people love it, some people want to die. What I'm trying to say is, the world design hasn't really changed that much over the 2 years since the first game came out. The only big change was the addition of the Roxxon building and the Roxxon Plaza. and of course some inside areas getting added. Overall, it's still as great as 2018 was, and I cannot wait for Spider-Man 2's map to release.
The gameplay of this game is wonderful. We get new animations for Miles and new animations and finishers for combat. Though, whenever I played as Miles, no matter how many upgrades I got, it all felt like I was still weak. They removed most of the web gadgets and just had 4 instead of the ones they had before. The 4 gadgets that they added were gravity well, web shooters, remote mines, and holograms. Unlike the spider jumps, I didn't use the holograms that much. They don't do it exactly that much. The best addition was the skill tree. They added a bunch of stuff that is really helpful and of course useful. The traversal in this game was a masterpiece. It was smoother, better, and cooler. You got new animations, Venom jump, new transitions, new animations, new tricks, and you were faster. Thank you, Insomniac. That also includes gameplay.
The replayability of this game is as good as 2018's. I mean, I never exactly replayed it since, but it was fun while it lasted. Playing through the game for the platinum was easy, fast, and overall fun. There's not much to say though, it can get boring in some parts, but it is mostly fun. Okay, let's start the comparison. We'll do our own topics. Basically, Amko will compare the stuff he did, I'll compare the stuff I did. Let's start. Oh yeah, by the way, this is all opinions. Story-wise, 2018 was much better. Yes, one of the reasons is because it was shorter, but you can't even blame Insomniac. But they still made a masterpiece of this game as well. I don't think anyone is surprised that although this game lacks in story, it still somehow has a good story. But of course, 2018 was better, pacing-wise, story-wise, and all-around shock factor.
The music in Miles Morales was great, yes. But if I had to choose between the two, I'd definitely pick the 2018 songs. There's some songs I enjoy still to this day, and although I love hip-hop, I definitely prefer 2018 because the music was more fitting, but still, Miles' music was great. Nothing exactly changed, except for the snow being added now, so there's nothing much to compare.
Although the world barely changed, for me it felt super new. Swinging through a snowy New York felt so great. I loved running off buildings and doing the phone pose. It just makes the game look so lovely, and we all definitely love it. Except you, Amko. You weirdo.
All they really did was add Venom powers. I mostly used the Venom jump and punch. The game felt easier due to the powers, but because of Roxanne and the Underground, it still felt like a pain in the ass to fight. Traversal, as I said before, new animations, smooth transitions, and I hate to say it, but it was much better than 2018. Although I enjoyed 2018 more, Miles swinging is just a masterpiece. But I will still prefer 2018 because of Peter Parker's character. But I enjoy Miles Morales throughoutly, and I definitely cannot wait for Spider-Man 2 to release.
Replayability wise, both games suck. Because honestly, there's not much to say. They're both not really the best to replay, but I can admit that 2018's replayability was better by a long shot. I couldn't deal with Roxxon and the Underground like I could with Fisk and Sable. 2018 is, of course, better for me. Overall, I think me and Amko both agree that 18 is a better game, just because it was in the works for longer and it had more dedication than Miles Morales. But, of course, we enjoy Miles' game. We both cannot wait for the sequel come out. Or is it the threequel? Who cares? We cannot wait. Thankfully, actual Alex and not post-editing Alex now. Overall, the game deserves a good 9 out of 10. It's a bit worse than 2018, but it definitely has its moments, and it's definitely a great game. As I said, I cannot wait for Spider-Man 2 to come out, and yeah, 9 Not the highest game rated yet, but definitely a good rating.
Fun. So, yep, that's about it. See ya.